So what I decided to do was make myself a jig, which is this right here. This being a 10-inch, this one being a 7-inch. My floor beams that run east and west have to be 10 inches. So this happens to be a 10-inch one. So what I'm going to do is take this 10-inch side and I'm going to lay it on top of the beam. So what I did was I figured out where the edge of the bit would come all the way around. So then all I've got to do is, when I'm running my jig, is bump the corners of my jig, and I'm actually still within the line. So this has to be about 2 3/4 right there, and it'll be 2 3/4, just a little bump. Just double checking. What I'm fixing to do is move this down here now. I'm going to work on this 7-inch, which is this side right here. So, actually this is not 7-inch, this is 7 5/8 because this is a brace. So I will start at one side and then I will have to move it down just a little bit because I didn't make a jig for the 7 5/8, just the 7. Alright, what I'm doing is I'm pulling off this jig now because I've got all 3 of those holes cut. I'll rotate this, you'll be able to see them, and I'm going to cut the other side. Now you can see the top beam. This is for my brace, which goes up this way, and then this over here is for the 10-inch beam coming this way. started to sprinkle, so we decided to move the camera in underneath this temporary shelter. And I don't know, we were talking that, you know, maybe we should you know, just talk a little bit about our channel and how we started in April a year ago. I started clearing brush with a saw and an axe to build a road up to where we're at here currently, in hopes of building a home. And I had in mind of purchasing my own sawmill, which we did. You all have seen that in operation. I had been watching a guy in Canada Sean James build a cabin out in the Canadian wilderness. I've been watching Joe Robinette doing a lot of hiking and camping. Been watching Scrambled O up there camping with them, and doing different things, and his bushcraft and a lot of his different videos. Adrenaline Outdoors, started watching him.
TA.
And TA Outdoors, I started watching that young man over there in England.
The Outsider.
The Outsider. That's a very great channel too. He's building somewhere in the Canadian wilderness, I believe it is, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, so I just got to talking with my son one day, and I said, hey, you know, I'm going to be building this cabin anyway, so I'm sure that there will be people that like watching. I had previously built a cabin, but I decided to do a timber frame this time, and which requires a little bit more work because of just the type of structure that it is. Anyway, so I said to him, I said, you know, people, they may want to watch the building of a timber frame, and if I'm going to be doing it anyway, you know, it's not that much of an investment to invest in the audio and the visual equipment to be able to film it. And so that's kind of how this whole thing got started, actually. Discussing it with him, I guess our first discussion was what kind of
what do we need?
Yeah, what do we need? What kind of camera?
Yeah.
That we need. So
yeah. And really those starting out with if you want to start a YouTube channel, or you want to film something that is interesting to you or you think might be interesting to other people, either entertainment wise or educational, you really don't need anything more than your phone nowadays, just because the phone has a decent mic on it and you can get external stuff to plug into it, and the camera's pretty good as long as the lighting is good.
We're not anybody to be telling you, you know, how to do this kind of stuff, because, you know, the reason we're telling you this is because we're just amateurs, and this is how this whole thing started, and we kind of sometimes we laugh about it.
You know, we're talking about this for one reason for sure, is because a lot of times it may seem daunting to get into something like this, because you're like, it's going to be too expensive, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to get I don't know how to compose a shot, I don't know what to say, I'm bad in front of the camera. And if you really feel like you're bad in front of the camera and that's just you, you know, maybe you can find somebody. What, you? Yeah. No.
I'm bad in front of the camera.
No, he's gotten a lot better. Go watch the videos. But you know, it really helps to have more than one person, because you can bounce ideas off the other person. But if it's just yourself, I would highly recommend, if you don't know anything about photo or video or composition or anything like that, definitely go on YouTube or Google and search, like I said, Peter McKinnon, Casey Neistat. To go back to what we were talking about, the equipment that you need is really just some decent lighting and a phone. But if you do have some money to put into it, a nice camera, either a DSLR or a mirrorless.
But anyway, that's the, in a nutshell, how we started and where we're at currently. And I think that it has quit sprinkling. So we managed to get, what, one beam done today? Or one post done today. Well, we cooked breakfast this morning. We ate breakfast and gave a little talk about, you know, what we do or how we got started in doing it. Hey everyone, we hope that you enjoyed part 2 of that series on timber framing. We wanted to be able to bring you a little more detail on how we go about laying out and cutting out the mortises. Even though we didn't do a tenon, it's primarily the same way. So if you like the movie, give it a big thumbs up. We are so grateful if you like, share, and subscribe our videos. So everyone, take care, and we hope to see you at the Outpost in the future.